some of the basics of Easel for those of you that are still having to work on your little keychain that we're going to be creating to introduce you guys to the CNC machine. So this is Easel right here. When you guys first jump into it, the first thing you want to do is give your project a new name and rename it. That way you're not all working on a file that is untitled and there's errors and issues that are coming up in the interface when other people are trying to work on the exact same file. So rename your project. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some text in here. Let's do something that I know is going to work well. Homestead should work. We're going to take this text. If you double click on it, highlight it, change it to your initials. Fellas, it needs to be your initials. If it's not your initials, I'm going to be taking points off. I'm okay if it's just your first name and your last name, but do not use anything other than your initials for this project. I'm going to make my initials fill up the particular chunk of material that I'm working on here. So if I click on shape right here, I can change the size of this. So the width of this is going to be 2.5. I'm going to make the height of the letters 1 inch. You can go to 1.5 inches if you want to, but I'm actually going to have to change some stuff up because you can see over here that my preview right here is showing that my letters are not cutting completely. So I'm going to take this back up to 1.5. We'll see what happens. And there we go. All right, so I can go 1.5 by 2.5 with this particular keychain, which is the max. I'm going to go ahead and take the position of this and put it at 0, 0. And so what that's going to do is it's going to put my letters down at the very bottom here. Now I can go ahead and create my shape that I'm going to be cutting out. So this one is going to be 2.5. And the height of it is going to be 1.5. And I'm going to go ahead and just leave this as is for right now because now I need to go over to cut. Right now what it's wanting to do, as you can see on the preview, is cut out a pocket. We want to take pocket and we want to change it to cut on the outside of the path, just like this. And so now I have this material here that's cutting through. I'm going to take both of these objects here and I'm going to change them and move them up so that they're not nearly as deep, because now what I'm going to do is set my material. We're going to cut these out of plywood, and I'll come back to this in just a second. We're going to cut these out of plywood. The plywood that we're cutting out of is going to be about 0.23 inches or 0.23 inches thick. And we are going to be cutting on birch plywood right now. I'm not worried about the X and Y dimensions of this. Because what we're cutting is going to fit on the piece of plywood that we're cutting on. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to select this box here. Make sure I drag this all the way down to cut through it. I will be okay using only 3 tabs. So the tabs are what keep it from flying out while it's cutting. And I'm going to change those tabs to about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've got tabs. I've got 3 of them. They're 1/8 of an inch. Length of the tabs 0.125. There we go. Now they're 1/8 of an inch. And now I'm going to go back to the shape, change the position of this to 0, 0. And so now the letters are fitting pretty well inside of my design. I'm going to go ahead and go to my cut, change the depth of this because I want to go about halfway through here. I'm not quite sure why things aren't updating over here. There we go. All right, so for some reason detailed preview got turned off. You can see how the letters are not really where I want them to be. So I'm going to nudge them over. You can use your arrow keys to move things. And so I'm just moving them over so that there's a slight little boundary here and a slight little boundary there. I can actually take them and scale them up if I want to. And scale them. Well, I'm really wanting this box that's here. There we go. That's the box that I wanted. So this box, I'm going to go ahead and fill up the entire keychain as much as I can with the letters. Now I need to come in and put a hole for the key ring to go through. That's this tool right here. And so we're going to take this, and I'm going to put this right in the top of the H right there. And so now I can go ahead and cut this out. You guys will not be doing any cutting on the first day because we're going to cut from my computer. My computer is not here. So this is what you guys need to do to set up your file. Make sure it gets saved. It does save automatically. Notice there is no save up here, so it will continually update in the cloud. That's it for that one, fellas. Be sure to look out for the laser cut tutorial as well.